Today we're looking at growing Monstera adansonii from cuttings. We'll show you how to grow them in water, we'll show you how to grow them in potting mix, and we'll show you two different ways of taking the cuttings themselves. The first thing we need to do is to find some cutting material. Now that we've removed the plant from the pole, it's a good chance to look at the structure of it. And you can see here that this is a plant that sends out extra shoots from the base. So we're going to choose one of these to cut back. This one here is one of the younger ones, so we probably won't use that one. This one here is really long, and we might like to train that one up the second pole. So we'll keep all of these young new shoots, and we're going to look at this shoot here. You can see the little aerial roots on here. They do dry off a little, but they will reshoot. How much material do we need? We're only doing a few cuttings. We'll take it off just above a leaf node down here. We'll put this plant aside and show you how to take the cuttings. What you're looking at getting for a cutting is an actively growing leaf, leaf nodes, and a little bit of stem, because this is where the plant will reshoot from. So we're simply taking that off above the leaf node and below the leaf node. And that's it for your cutting. It doesn't need to be any more than that. So this is the type of cutting that we're going to grow in potting mix. We'll come back to that in a minute. The second type of cutting is a longer stem cutting that you can grow in water. Actually going to use a tip cutting, that's this one here, and we'll take it back to 2 nodes below the tip. All we need to do with that is to place it into the water. We need to change the water every week, and again keep it in a warm position. With the rest of this we can make a lot more cuttings. It's the simple method: below the node, above the node, that's a cutting. And we have another one, and we've got one cutting here with a leaf node at the bottom and a leaf at the top, and we'll put it in with its friend there, 2 that we're growing in water. We'll be back to show you the results. So these are our little 1 node, 1 leaf stem cuttings. Here's a close-up look, and we're going to grow those on in potting mix. For good results, it's an idea to use a rooting hormone powder or a liquid. With this liquid one, dip it in the hormone solution and then set it aside to dry for around about 30 seconds before you place it into the soil mix. So there we have all of our cuttings. And again, a warm position, not in full sun. Keep them moist. In around 3 to 4 weeks, you should have new root growth. So here are the 2 Monstera adansonii that we're propagating in water. And if we take a look at this one, you can see it's got a really good root system starting to develop. This one here, the root system isn't developing yet, but we can see a few little signs of it. So we'll leave that one in the water until the root system starts to develop. Good root growth appearing on this cutting as well. We don't suggest you do this at home. Wait until you see really good signs of foliage growth above the soil level. Now back to the cuttings that we were growing in the water, and this is about 2 weeks from the last time we showed them. You can see that this plant here has put on 2 new roots, one at the bottom and one up there. So this means actually 3 new roots, one at the top there, one there, one there, and all of these need to go into the soil. So for this we're taking an empty pot, sitting the cutting in the pot and backfilling around it. So our cuttings nestled well down into the soil, all of the roots are covered. We'll water this in with a liquid seaweed fertiliser and put it in a warm position to grow on with the other cuttings. So here we have our old leaf, here we have the new growth shooting out from the node, 1 new leaf growth here. So these plants are growing really well. What about the ones from the stem cuttings? They don't look quite so good. However, if we look down here, we can see new growth coming out from below the surface. To fertilise these plants, we're using a liquid multi-purpose plant fertiliser, and this can be used either in a watering can or you can put it into a spray bottle and use it as a foliar spray. We're going to use it from the spray bottle and it's about 1 capful to a spray bottle this size. So when you're applying this with your spray bottle, spray on the foliage, spray some around the base of the plant, and this is going to improve the growth rate. And here we have the plants, and you can see they're growing really well. Look, it is the middle of winter here, so growth rate hasn't been great, but with both lots of plants here, new growth coming up from the base of each one of those cuttings. Good new growth appearing from the node on the top of one of the cuttings that we grew in the water. That's the old leaf there. This is the new leaf here. All of these cuttings have been grown indoors. We've had them in a little covered propagation tray. We have some other videos on Monstera adansonii and on Monstera deliciosa as well. That's it for growing Monstera adansonii from cuttings. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for regular updates on a whole range of gardening matters. And as always, good luck with your gardening.